Hello YNABers, my name is Jesse Meekum from YNAB. It stands for You Need a Budget, but what you really need is a goal. We just couldn't say YNAG. It doesn't sound good. Yeah, there's something there, but it's not for us. So it's a goal. Budgeting is really just about goals. The smallest goals, the largest goals, it's all goal setting. It's not about restriction. It's not about dieting. It's not about withholding joy. It's not about really even putting things off. It's just about saying, what do I want? And then, can I get my money to play along? And it turns out that if you tell your money what to do beforehand, that the money is fairly compliant. It's when you're trying to tell your money what to do after it's already done the thing, that doesn't work so well. So in light of this, I want to just talk about goals and a few key points. When you're tackling a big goal, this sad man here is looking at the goal, the entire chunk, and they're saying, this is impossible, right? Look how small he is. He can't climb that goal. It's impossible. No running start will help, and no one's there to lift him. He's on his own, and it's impossible. So you break up the goal. This is standard stuff, into smaller little steps. Look how happy this guy is. Still bald, but happy. And he's able to just kind of one step at a time, just walk up toward that peak right here where he's achieved the goal. And the bit of it that's super important is this is the same goal. Volume-wise, I didn't actually make this to where the volume was equal between the two goals, but you get the idea. I would have had to go clear out here. But the idea is that this is the exact same goal, and it's all about perception. If you perceive that the goal is, I have to pay off 30 grand in student loan debt. Well, yes, you do, but could we talk about it in chunks that are actually meaningful? Because, that's like saying, consumer debt has increased by $1 trillion. Does anyone just emotionally respond to that? No, because we have no concept of trillion. And a lot of us, myself included, if someone says, oh, you need 30 grand to pay off student loan debt, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, just let me look around for that. 30 grand might as well be $300,000, right? So you break it down into tiny little amounts, you start talking about 300, even 30. But that's the key here, is that first step. This is where you'll feel tons and tons of friction. So instead of talking about paying off a debt, it's a great goal. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. I want to talk about the idea of doing something crazy, where you have this lifelong dream of X. You have always wanted to Y. You wish you had time to B, right? I'm going to go through the whole alphabet. If only you had more time, you would definitely D, okay? So that is what I want to talk about. And think about that goal. Is it going somewhere for a little while? Is it traveling somewhere? Is it picking up a hobby that you wish you could revive? Whatever it is, whatever that goal is, grab that and then add the category in the software and put some money toward it. Make it real. Until you actually take your money, which is your life, one of my favorite books of all time, take your money that is your life and say, I'm going to use some of my life toward this hobby that I know I've been wanting to do, or to do this thing that I know I've been wanting to do. Until you actually take some of your life and apply it to that thing, it's just talk. Just talk. So I want you to take some actual money right now, fire up YNAB, just $1. $10, $20, steal from something else, steal from another category that's not as important, and just put a little bit down there I've been talking for a while about the house in France. If you want a house in France, to me that's crazy, right? But for you, maybe just perfect. So you say, I want the house in France. How much does that cost? I have no idea. But put 50 bucks toward it. Make it real. Until you budget for it, where you acknowledge that I'm going to use some of my life, that is your money, and actually give that money the job of pushing you toward that goal just one step at a time. Until you do that, it's just wishing. But as soon as you start putting the money toward it, it's real. And then you start getting momentum. And then instead of just kind of plodding up the step, you start kind of hopping up those steps and then sprinting up the steps. And that momentum just keeps feeding on itself, and you've done something amazing. Suddenly you're here. You never thought it was possible. So my challenge to you, before next week's Whiteboard Wednesday, and preferably before 5 minutes from now, I want you to fire up YNAB, add a category if you don't have it yet for that crazy thing that you know you want, and just put a little money in there. If you're in a shared finances situation, do one that's combined. That can fire up a reluctant partner sometimes to talk about the crazy stuff that you're making real by budgeting. I will see you guys next week.